Hey plant fam! Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jaclynn. This is my jungle, and if you're not new here, I appreciate you for coming back. So today I have a video for you that I've been planning for a little while, and I think I'm satisfied with the Hoya that I chose for this list. So like the title says, today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 Hoya that I, in my personal opinion, think that you should buy big and already established versus 5 Hoya that it's totally okay for you to get little baby cuttings because it's going to be super easy for you to grow those out. But I have been collecting and growing Hoya now for, I don't even know, 4 years maybe, something like that. And I'm not an expert, I'm not a botanist, but I have learned quite a bit about the different types of Hoya. And obviously, like I said, these are my personal opinions. These are based off of my experiences with these plants. It's okay if you have different experiences, but definitely let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my list. So I'm going to start with the top 5 Hoya, in my opinion, Hoya that I've grown and have had in my collection that you should get larger. These are Hoya that I probably got as cuttings or small plants early on in my collection and just never really did well with them. And then later on down the line, when I was able to get them bigger and more established, I've been a lot more successful with these ones in particular. So if you're not new here, a lot of these definitely should not be surprising because I've talked about them a ton on my channel and you guys have probably seen me buy them or unbox them. So the first one that I want to start with has honestly become one of my favorite plants, and I can't even tell you how many times I killed this thing when I had it when it was small or just like little cuttings that I was trying to grow out. So that is why I put this one at number 1 on my list in really no particular order of Hoya that you should buy already established if you can, and that is the variegated Hoya Weidii. Now, don't ask me why every time I had this as a small plant, it always died. And I could not for the life of me get it to grow and thrive and be happy. So I just gave up on it for a while. And then I saw these at Paul's and Sandy's back, I don't know how many months ago now. And I was like, screw it, let me try again because it's a larger, more established plant. It's more mature. So I snagged this one a little while back and it has been literally thriving for me, you guys, so much to the point where I have so many blooms on it, so much growth on it. None of them are open right now, so I can't really show you what they look like when they open up, but they're so cute. Those little teeny tiny flowers, and it's got tons of new growth, and I've cut it a bunch, I've propagated it, and so far it's just been so much easier for me to have this as an already large trailing plant. It was much fuller, but I have been cutting it because when I do see a stagnant stem where there's no growth coming, I do like to cut it back, even just a couple of nodes, because it encourages more growth. I do have a video talking all about that. I can link it for you up here, how to get your stubborn Hoya to grow, and just like when it's appropriate to cut your Hoya and when you should wait to cut your Hoya. So I love this one. Again, variegated Weidii. I 10 out of 10 recommend snagging this one already established, not only because it's going to be easier for you to grow, but like, look at how beautiful this thing is already trailing. Like, why wouldn't you already want a nice full basket of it? The prices have come way down on it so that you can actually afford to get a larger one. So that is why I put her at number 1 on my list today of Hoya that I think you should buy already big and mature. Plus you're gonna get blooms a whole heck of a lot faster on a more mature Hoya. Like every single vine has got peduncles. So this is kind of what ends up happening over time with my Hoya. So sorry, my cat is like making all types of noise, so I don't even remember what I was saying, but definitely snag this one mature if you can. Right, that is kind of what happens to all of my Hoya over time as they mature. They just start growing peduncles on like every single vine. And I fertilize them like crazy, especially with the super growth elixir. You guys do not sleep on the super growth elixir. Hoya love a foliar spray. I'll leave it linked down below for you if you haven't tried it yet. Everybody else in the comments who has tried it, tell them they need to try it. Your Hoya are growing, I swear, and blooming like crazy. It's like my secret weapon is my super growth elixir from Urban Gardener. So don't sleep on it. Okay, so number 2 on my list of Hoya that you should buy, already established and big if you can. Shouldn't be surprising because I struggled with this one so very much, and I finally, the same thing, was like, let me just try one more time with a larger, more established plant and see what happens. And that is the Hoya linearis, and I am very happy to let you guys know that she's doing fantastic. There's tons of new growth coming off of every single vine, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to grow her. So in case you haven't seen her before, she is a very cute little skinny leaf Hoya. They're fuzzy. It's probably really hard to tell on camera that they're kind of fuzzy. And again, this is just a really beautiful trailing Hoya. I love a trailing Hoya. I love a trailing plant in general, and Hoya, certain ones just trail so perfectly, and this is definitely one of them. And that is another reason why I recommend getting it big. They're kind of a pain in the butt to propagate. I am going to experiment with different mediums and different methods to see what works best for me, but I've had a lot of difficulty in the past propagating these from small cuttings and getting them started. So if you can, these are very hard to find, and they tend to be very expensive because they're very hard to find. But if you can find one that you can afford that's already established, I 10 out of 10 recommend doing that over getting cuttings, because I just can't guarantee that those are going to do well for you. Obviously, you do you, boo-boo, if you want to try. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I am just trying to give you my opinions so that maybe you can learn from my past mistakes and things that I've tried and have not been successful with. So do keep in mind that everybody is different. Everybody's environment is different. Every plant is different. The way that you care for your plants is different. So there are way too many variables to say for sure, like, do this, this, and that, and the plant is going to thrive. Obviously, there are guidelines that you can follow because people have been doing it for a really long time, and over time, people kind of establish what might work best for different plants, but there is still always wiggle room for you to do what works for you. So I always encourage people not to get all up in arms about what other people say on the internet about plant care. If something's working for you, keep on doing it. Don't listen to other people when they tell you, no, you can't do it that way. You have to do it this way instead. There is no right or wrong way to do houseplants. If you're doing something and it's working, keep on doing it. So Hoya linearis is one that I absolutely recommend that you get big if you can. She's just chilling in like one of these hanging things, but she looks cute in this pot, no? Don't want to pinch the leaves in there. And I don't know, I'm just really happy with the way that it's turning out with her. So I'm not mad at the Hoya linearis, and I definitely think that, again, you should get her already big if you can. I'm going to put her back on the shelf. So number 3 on my list is on my list just because I think that you should if you can, not because it's difficult to grow. Like, by no means is this difficult to grow out from a cutting. I just think that if you can, because the prices have come way down on these, snag one already established in like a big hanging basket. You totally should, and this is one of my Hoya Matilde, like one of, because I love this one, and I have tons of it. There's one right here behind me that I've grown from a baby, but I also have these larger ones, and this is another one that I think just is such a beautiful trailing plant. The bloom has opened up on one of these, so you could see it. Look at how cute and fuzzy it is. This is what they look like before they open. I am just absolutely obsessed with this one. She is a fantastic grower because this is a cross between Hoya serpens and carnosa. And anytime you have a carnosa involved, like, the plant is just gonna be easy peasy for the most part. So I absolutely love this one. This is probably my favorite Hoya, just like period, when it comes to trailing plants. Obviously I have other favorites that are like just really veiny and weird, but I love the growth pattern on this one. I love the little splashy leaves. I absolutely adore the blooms. It's a very easy bloomer. So it just kind of checks all the boxes. And if you can just like skip ahead to the good part, to the big plant, I definitely recommend that you do. I actually snagged these from the plant farm. If you want to check out their website, they were very, very inexpensive for these large baskets, and I have a few of them, and I use them as mother baskets to take cuttings off of. I sell cuttings of these left and right. I've never had anybody have issues rooting and growing them from cutting. I'm sure some of you watching have some cuttings off of my plants, and you can vouch for the fact that these are really easy. But just because it's so beautiful, I would recommend getting it larger, not because it's difficult to grow like some of these other ones on the list. I just think that if you're gonna get a big Hoya basket, like, this one should be at the top of your list for sure, because it's beautiful and you're gonna get blooms a lot faster on a larger, more mature Hoya. Okay, so number 4 on my list today of plants that you should buy established if you can is the Hoya meeeee. And let me tell you, I have had this plant since it was just these 2 leaves here, and I've had this thing for years. It gave me this one maybe like a year or 2 ago, and ever since then it's just given me blooms. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 peduncles. They were literally all just in bloom. If you guys saw that little short that I posted, I also posted it on Instagram, but this thing has just been slow. The slowest thing on the face of the planet for me. And I don't know, let me know if you have the Hoya meeeee in the comment section below, and if yours is painfully slow. I repotted it, I fertilize it like crazy, I spray it with the super growth elixir. I think maybe I'm just gonna try and chop it back, maybe propagate this leaf and see if that helps to encourage like growth. It's literally just grown peduncles. So I'm like, if you can get this one already established, something that I look for when I buy smaller Hoya that maybe just have a few leaves, because these are pretty big leaves, so it is harder to find like a huge specimen. But something that I always look for is multiple nodes and active growth. So when I bought this, it was not actively growing. It took so long to activate. It gave me this, and then it just was like, I'm good for a while. But it is absolutely stunning. It's one of my favorites. I've had it for so long. It was on my wish list from like day 1 when I started collecting Hoya, because it's just big and veiny. I have it on a trellis because I was hoping to size up the leaves even more. They can get bigger than this. So if you can, find this one if you want this one, if this is on your wish list. It probably is now if you hadn't seen it before, and especially if you like them big and veiny. If this is on your wish list, I definitely encourage you to just be really smart about the specimen that you do buy. Try and find one, again, like I said, that has multiple nodes and active growth, so that you're not just going to be sitting here twiddling your thumbs like me, waiting forever for this thing to give you some growth. So it is very possible that flat mites could be involved, and that's why it's not really giving me anything. And if it does, it tends to kind of just like not come to fruition. So it does seem like it's doing a lot better since moving, but I don't know, maybe I'll repot it and like chop it back. Like, I genuinely don't know. But if you get this one, definitely just be aware of what you're buying and make sure that it's not just like 1 leaf, 1 node, because it's probably going to take 4 years for it to grow. And I don't want that for you, girl. I really don't. So Hoya meeeee is number 4 on my list for that reason. So number 5 is for the same reason. I've had this one for a while. It actually looks pretty sad and wrinkly and like sappy, like another bloom got all over it. And that is my Hoya dinner plate. This is a latifolia dinner plate. This is the largest leaf latifolia in the latifolia species group. I don't know if there's a different word for it. And she did give me a couple of new leaves. I cut them back because they were kind of just like on this long tendril with like leaves all the way up here. So I cut them back and she just like doesn't do anything. I bought her as just this one leaf. And I don't recommend doing that, but it is just a really common way to buy these. So what I would recommend, again, with this one is the same thing as the meeeee. Make sure that it has multiple nodes and that it has an active growth point so that you're not waiting 7 years for it to grow. So if you have the dinner plate on your wish list, just be aware of what you're buying. Please, for the love of tacos, do not buy this as just like a one leaf, one node cutting. Who knows? You might be lucky and it might just like throw out all types of crazy growth for you. But for me, this thing has just been stagnant AF and it irritates me. So I wouldn't recommend buying this one small if you don't have to. So that is why I put this one at number 5 on my list of Hoya that you should buy more mature. Okay, so next are 5 Hoya that you can absolutely buy as little baby cuttings, and I think that you're gonna have a really easy time growing them out because some of these also might be like just a little bit more pricey, or maybe you just enjoy growing from a baby plant. I know that a lot of people really enjoy growing out plants from just a small cutting. They enjoy the satisfaction of that, especially with Hoya. Hoya are really easy to collect. Like little baby cuttings and little baby plants if you're low on space in your plant collection. So the first one on my list of Hoya that you can definitely buy small and buy as cuttings if you want to is one of my favorites, like just period. Another one, there's a lot of my favorites in this video, I'm not gonna lie. And that is the Hoya Gunung Gading. So this one is just, the camera's not going to do it any justice. The lighting is kind of trash today. I apologize. But this one is just so good. It's so good. It's veiny. It gets sun stressed. Right now mine is like a little low on the sun stressing, but it does get this kind of like sunsetty, sun stress vibe. Eventually it'll go just like totally red if you let it. And this one I've had for so long and I've had absolutely zero issues growing it. I do cut it back pretty often, so that's why it's not like a big, huge plant, but it is putting out some new growth for me over here. And I just absolutely love this one and I recommend that you get it for your collection, like regardless, but this is one that you can definitely just buy like a cutting. Like if it was just this node right here, you wouldn't have any issue really growing this one out. These are really easy going in my opinion, and the prices have come way down on them, but if you're still on a budget, definitely can get this one as a cutting and you will be fine. I don't think it'll take a million years for it to grow. So yeah, Hoya Gunung Gading. This is like the Calistophylla on crack. I love it. This is just on the top of my list for sure, like way up there. Probably my favorite, like when it comes to veiny Hoya. Another favorite is on number 2 on my list that you can buy small as a cutting if you want to, or just like a small plant, and it's going to be really easy going and easy growing for you, is the Hoya Sarawak. And I know that this is another favorite of a lot of people, mine as well. I've been growing these out for quite a bit. I've got like many plants, but it is recently going through a growth spur. I've got a new leaf over here. I've got a new growth point over here. New leaf, new leaf. A lot of the older nodes that didn't have leaves are activating. I definitely attribute that to the Urban Gardener Super Growth Elixir Spray Hoya Love a Foliar spray. I've been using that one for about a year now, and my Hoya love it. They love it. So Hoya Sarawak is definitely one that I think you can buy as a small cutting, and you're not going to have any issues growing this one pretty large. I do have another small plant back here that I got tiny, and I haven't had any issues with it. It grows, I cut it, it grows, I cut it, because this one is my personal plant that I don't actually like to propagate unless I want to. So I do, of a lot of my favorites, have double, so that I have like a mother basket that I can propagate from and a personal plant that I can just enjoy. So this is my personal Hoya Sarawak, and I am just so happy that it's thriving and pushing out tons of new growth for me this year. The only thing I'm doing different, you guys, like I said, is the Super Growth Elixir. So definitely snag yourself a bottle. I have a discount code for you. It'll be linked down below. And try it out. Can't hurt to try it, right? It's not going to harm your plants in any way. I spray it at least once a week, if not more than that, on all of my plants, like everything in here. And they all love it. But the Hoya and the Anthurium specifically tend to, they seem to, I mean, really, really love it. So Hoya Sarawak is number 2 on my list of Hoya that you can definitely buy small, and it's going to grow pretty quickly for you, root really easily for you, and get itself nice and established fairly quickly for you. I have 2 separate plants in here that I grew out from babies, and as they got larger, I potted them up together to make one big pot of it. Hopefully it's going to continue to go around this trellis and just be beautiful. So Hoya Sarawak, 10 out of 10. Recommend like just adding all of these to your collection if you don't have them. And this one you can definitely get as a cutting or a small plant and not worry about it. So number 3, oh my gosh, there's a bloom. I didn't even notice that until just now. This plant is literally in bloom. So number 3 on my list of Hoya that you can definitely buy small is the Hoya Lacanosa, and this is one of mine. This is the Royal Flush. It's got really cute little silvery leaves. You can find these sometimes at the big box store. Oh, look at the little bloom. Lacanosa blooms are so cute. They're like really tiny, white, fuzzy blooms with like, I think, a yellow corona, if I'm not mistaken. There are definitely mealybugs all over it though, so I gotta rinse it off. So yeah, this is just one Hoya Lacanosa species, subspecies. There's so many, and they do vary slightly, but I do find them all to be very easy going for the most part, and I've grown tons of them just from little cuttings. I can't even tell you how many different types of Lacanosa I have that are just like in little plastic cups, little teeny tiny cuttings. But I wanted to show you this one just because I think it's so cute, and I had no idea that it was blooming. But Lacanosa are really easy growers, really easy bloomers, and I feel like it's a really great plant that if you want to just get little cuttings of, you're going to be very successful growing those out. So again, this is the Hoya Lacanosa Royal Flush. Really cute silvery leaves on this one. You definitely can find this one as a big hanging basket in the big box store, but they don't tend to have as nice of a variegation like the silver. This one's way more silver than the one that I got at the big box store. This one I got at a nursery. So they're also not expensive. I'd say this is a pretty small plant, but it's grown really nicely for me, and it's already blooming, you guys. It's so cute. I didn't even know there was a peduncle on here. So I guess this is turning into a Hoya bloom video. The only one that I didn't show you is like my Memoria that's blooming right now. So otherwise you get to see all my blooms today. But yeah, Hoya Lacanosa is one that I would say you can definitely buy small if you want to. Like I said, if you're on a budget or you're just kind of running out of space, and it's going to do really well for you. It's not going to be a problem child. All right, so number 4 on my list is one that I actually don't have, but I know that it is one that's really popular, and I did try to choose ones that are really popular for this video so that you guys would find it beneficial, because I know that these are really common ones that people have on their wish list. And if you are a little bit newer to Hoya, I hope that this video can help you decide where to spend your money, where you should get them a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit more expensive, and where you can get them smaller, maybe a little bit more affordable. So what are we on? 4 on my list of ones that you definitely can buy small or as cuttings is the Hoya Sunrise. I'm going to put a picture of it on the screen here because I don't actually have one right now. I sold mine, but I do think it's really beautiful. It's popular because it sun stresses. It grows really quickly and easily. It blooms really easily. So you can grow this one from a cutting and it'll do really well for you. I have never had an issue rooting these, propagating these like at all. So 10 out of 10 recommend that. But I do have the what are you? Obscura. Like obtusifolia? No, that's a peperomia. I'm fine. Everything is fine. I do have the Hoya Obscura, which is a hybrid, I'm pretty sure, of the Sunrise. I don't remember. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did do a deep dive. I can post it up here if you're curious about the differences between them, as well as the Rebecca and things that look similar. I do have a video about that. But this is the Obscura, and it sun stresses a little bit more orangey than it does red, and I would say that it's just as easy growing, easy blooming. This thing blooms constantly for me, and it does make a pretty decent trailing plant. They both do, the Sunrise and the Obscura, so I'd say that either one, I'm just gonna kind of lump them together, but I do know that the Sunrise is like a little bit more popular than the Obscura. I prefer the Obscura. The leaves do get bigger. But I think that either one you could very easily grow from a small cutting. I have a variegated Obscura. I should have brought it to show you guys, that I've been growing from just a little baby plant that I unboxed recently from Gardino Nursery, and it's growing like crazy for me. It's like a variegated who? I'm still growing just as fast as the regular one. Usually variegated plants do grow a little bit slower, but I love this one, and I think that you should buy it. And you can definitely get it just as a cutting and not worry about it. It'll grow and root very easily for you. So that is why I put Sunrise and Obscura on my list of Hoya that you can definitely buy small or as a cutting. Okay, so last but not least on my list, I felt like I would have been doing a disservice if I didn't talk about Hoya carnosa. I feel like everybody sleeps on Hoya carnosa because it's common and it's just a carnosa, but I low-key love Hoya carnosa. There are so many different subspecies and hybrids of Hoya carnosa that are really splashy and gorgeous, and I just really love to collect them. I have heirloom carnosa, which is honestly just a really old carnosa that's been around for generations, and it's just different. Like some species just look different from each other. I would say that you can very, very easily grow a carnosa from a small plant or a cutting. This is one of mine. I have no idea what subspecies this is, but it's very splashy. This one came to me unidentified, but it is a carnosa. It might be a hybrid, or it's just a very splashy carnosa. You've got like stardust, freckles, sprinkles, like there's like so many different types. So if you do find yourself in the store or hanging out with a friend and they've got a really splashy carnosa, get it. Ask for a cutting. I promise you, you're not going to be mad about it. Don't sleep on the regular carnosa. They have super cute little pink blooms, and I just love them. But I gotta be honest with you, the only one I'm going to tell you not to get is the compacta, the Hindu rope. I'll throw a picture up in case you don't know what it looks like. They're the slowest thing on the face of the planet. A huge pain in the butt to grow. They get mealybugs all stuck in the crevices, and I will never buy one again. And I know I said that already, and then I bought one, and then I got rid of it, and now I maintain that I will not do it again because they drive me insane. Never mind the variegated one, forget about it. That thing is just gonna stay a little stump forever, so don't do it. If you want a variegated Hindu rope, please, for the love of tacos, get a big hanging established basket of it. It's worth the price. It is not worth the headache or the heartache to get a small plant or a cutting, because it's just not going to do what you want it to do. So Hoya carnosa had to go on the list, you guys. I had to. So that is it. Those are my top 5 Hoya that I think you should buy larger if you can, and my top 5 Hoya that you can definitely buy smaller and they'll grow out totally fine for you. So let me know what Hoya you would add to this list. Obviously there's so many more, but I didn't want to sit here for 4 hours and talk to you about all of the Hoya that I have in my collection and whether or not I recommend buying them big or small. So I would love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, you should definitely give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell as well so that you don't miss anything from me. Sometimes YouTube notifies you when I upload. It might be 3 days later, but it will notify you so that you don't miss anything from me. There's also a join button if you guys want to be part of the official plant fam. I will have tons of vlogs coming at you for the rest of the summer while David and I are traveling. And if not, there's a super thanks button if you guys want to super thanks me. One of the best ways though to support me and my channel is to just check out the things that I sell. So come on and hang out on Palm Street. I've got lots of stuff that I sell over there. That's primarily where I'm going to be selling plants and rocks from now on. The website was really hard to maintain and keep up with, you guys, I'm not going to lie. So Palm Street does make it just really easy for me to just sell through their platform. I'll leave that link down below for you guys to come on over and check it out. If you download using my link, you do get a coupon off of your first purchase anywhere on the app. So what else am I missing? There's tons of affiliate links in the description box as well, coupled with discount codes. So I always encourage you guys to scroll through and see if there's anything that you're in the market for. I've got tons of stuff on Amazon down there as well. People are always asking about what humidifiers I use and things along those lines. You can find all of that in my description box. I try to keep it nice and organized for you, so hopefully it's easy for you to find what you're looking for. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I love you guys so very much. If you watched this whole entire video, leave me some flower emojis in honor of all of my cute little Hoya blooms. And I love you so very much. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are out there in the world. Don't forget to spread kindness. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.